Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to East Gymnasium here at Fort Lee High School, the setting for our playoff showdown here in the North 2 Group 2 state quarterfinals, as it will be number 2 seed Fort Lee, the Bridgemen, 9-6 on the season, playing host to the visiting Morris Tech Devils, the number 10 seed in the sectional playoffs, 3-5 overall on the year. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Long. Glad that you could join us here on this rainy Thursday afternoon on this live stream broadcast courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department. And this is where it all matters the most, where it is win or go home time. For the Bridgemen, they garnered the number 2 seed after a strong regular season. But if they want to advance the play in the semifinals and host the semifinal here on Saturday, they have to go against a Morris Tech side that upset number 7 seed Garfield in the first round of the tournament, 2-0. They defeated the Boilermakers 25-19 and 25-17 and are trying to pull the upset again against a Bergen County foe here today. Morris Tech will be in the red, Fort Lee in the all-black, and Morris Tech will serve to begin this first set with Madison Mauden, number 20, doing the duties. Quickly, Kim getting it up and over for Fort Lee. Blocked at the nets. Nice job of Kylie Chan getting in the way of it, as Christy Smith was trying to elevate number 1 for Morris Tech. And that time it deflects off of Fort Lee out of bounds last, and the opening points of the opening set will go the way of the Morris Tech Devils, coached by Kathleen Turnbull, a Devils program that won a playoff victory in their last game. And this was a program that went 3-22 only 2 short seasons ago. What a turnaround for this Morris Tech program. Drop shot, red all the way. Chan getting it up and over again for Fort Lee. And that time a little too much mustard there on that offering by Christy Smith. And that'll be the first points of this opening set for Fort Lee, coached by John Ziemba. He's led Fort Lee to a share of the Big North American League title this year, their first league championship since 2015. Huang setting it up for Chen. Good dig out there by Vicky Huang on the other side for Morris Tech. Chen pushing it up and over. Dug out, and good point there by Christy Smith. Just sneaking it up and over the net, as Kylie Chan was trying to judge when that was going to be put over. 2-1 lead now for Morris Tech. Nutrowani diving out to dig that one out. What's plagued Fort Lee in their last 2 home matches against Riverdale, who's ranked number 19 in the state, and their last time out against undefeated Hasbrook Heights. Slow starts in the opening set. They fell behind by big margins and were fighting uphill ever since that point. Trying to get off to a hotter start here. They're down 3-1. Diaz gets it over for Fort Lee. Bridgman trying to snap a 3-match losing streak on the season. Deflected at the nets, and eventually the point secured by Diaz and Fort Lee. Diaz, number 28, who's subbing out right now, a senior in her first year of playing volleyball, has already just been a natural with her athletic skills, an all-league performer. Getting that second point of this opening set, 3-2 now the lead for Morris Tech. Nicole Coelho serving and getting that service point on the ace after it was knocked out of bounds on the attempted return. We're deadlocked now at 3-3 here in the opening set. Sent over by Rachel Bowman for Morris Tech. They're trying to set up their key player here. Again, a little too hot there for Christy Smith, but that time she deflected it off the hands of Nicole Nutrowani. And that will garner the point for the Devils. Christy Smith, an outstanding junior outside hitter, had 7 kills, 7 aces, and 4 digs in their opening win of this playoff season against Garfield on the 13th. She will be serving right now, number 1. That one going a little too long, but they're going to say that it was, in fact, an ace. So they said that fell inside. As the entire back line of Fort Lee incredulous, they thought that it went long. And they said that fell in for the ace. So Smith starts off with an ace here. Kim with the service, or the save, I should say, in the back. As Fort Lee finds the location there in the back left corner to make this a 5-4 deficit here in the first set. So the last 2 points for both respective teams is all about accuracy, as Smith's service found just inside the back line, and that time the finish off for Fort Lee down that far left side corner. Now serving is Lily Shulman. Too long on that attempt by Rachel Bowman, the sophomore for Morris Tech. Back-to-back points by Fort Lee, and we're tied now at 5-5. Gonna get sent over. Again, Ayla Kim, who leads Fort Lee with 121 digs on the season. Just a misplay at the front of the net there by the Bridgman. And that run of sorts is stopped. A 6-5 lead now for the Devils of Morris Tech. The first ever meeting between these two schools. The winner will advance to the North 2 Group 2 semifinals on Saturday. Blocked at the nets. Alex Glasser, number 6, the junior, got a piece of it to deny Pagan from getting it up and over. And now the Devils have scored twice in a row, 7-5 advantage for the visitors. Pagan gets it up and over Glasser that time. Wang getting it over for Fort Lee, number 14. She's the best setter in the league for the Bridgman. She's the facilitator in this offense and gets it to Pagan. And that time Glasser just kind of mistimed her jump. She got a piece of it, just could not elevate. So the point goes the way of Morris Tech, of Fort Lee. 7-6 lead for Morris Tech here in the opening set. Evenly played start to this postseason showdown. Pagan getting the benefit there. Might have mistimed it. The apex of her jump as well, but just got enough to have it trickle over the top of the net and to use that momentum to kind of have it roll just in front of Glasser. So both teams going on a couple of point runs here. 7-7 the score. Glasser tipping it over. Pagan got a piece of it and eventually was put over by Coelho. There's Glasser. Yishi Wang getting it over. Now Fort Lee looking to make some defense, and that time into the net it goes for Morris Tech. 3 unanswered points for the Bridgmen of Fort Lee, who have now taken an 8-7 lead here in the opening set. Yishi Huang again leads the team with assists on the season. Nearly 370 assists on her career, but that time Pagan just a little too long for the sophomore. Couldn't find the touch inside the back line. Once again, we're tied, this time at 8-8. As Abby Adams, number 4, the junior, will serve for Morris Tech, and that time a little too long on the service error. And the lead goes back to Fort Lee at 9-8. This is the first time that Morris Tech has made the playoffs since 2014 when they lost to Ramapo in the Group 2 state playoffs. In 2019, they went 9-15 overall. Wang setting up Pagan. Pagan angling it over to the far side. What an accuracy there! Gotta caught Morris Tech by surprise. As she curled that one, instead of just going straight over that, she curled it more to the far left side, and it fell in no man's land. 10-8 lead now for Fort Lee in the opening set. Just sent over by Carly Young, number 14. Here's Carly Young again, making the defensive play to start things off for Morris Tech. Wang setting up Pagan. Pagan, that time again, going a little too long as that'll go out of bounds for the points for Morris Tech. 10-9 lead right now for Fort Lee. Pagan gets another point right in the front. That time, Christy Smith tried to elevate to deny her, but got blocked into the top of the net. 11-9 advantage now for the Bridgemen, as they'll sub in Nicole Nutrawani, the junior, with 16 digs in their loss against 19th-ranked Riverdale last week. Huang trying to catch them off guard. And Vicky Huang on the other side. The defensive specialist, the libero in the black uniform, anticipated that move, came up and made the play that eventually led to the point for Morris Tech. 11-10 now the lead for Fort Lee, as they'll sub in Katie Murtaugh, number 23, the sophomore. Serving is Madison Mauden. Mauden had 7 digs and 2 kills in the win against Garfield. And once again, Morris Tech not helping themselves out with a couple of their serves here, as they have gone long. And about 3 different serves that have gifted 3 points to Fort Lee without even having to return it. 2-point lead for the Bridgemen. 12-10 now Fort Lee here in the opening set. There's another point for Fort Lee as that knocks into the net. 13-10, the largest lead of this opening set right now for Fort Lee, as once again Ayla Kim is serving. Kim, the senior, one of the 6 seniors of this class that have led them to their first league title since 2015. Chan just couldn't return it over in time. Point for Morris Tech, 13-11 now for the Devils. Will run one on the road twice this season against High Point and then in their last match against Garfield. That time a fortunate bounce of sorts for Fort Lee, as it kind of just deadened right at the net. And Morris Tech a little in tight. Not able to return it. 14-11 now, as Nicole Coelho, the junior, comes in to serve. Fort Lee in the black, Morris Tech in the red. Devils getting it over. Now setting it up. Nice defensive play there by Vicky Huang. Coelho saving it. Now Yishi Huang getting it over, as Casey Rue was trying to get the point for Fort Lee. Good volley back and forth between these two sides. Here's Kylie Chan popping it over, looking for this point. Good job defensively by Fort Lee. Trying to get it, and they get the point. Casey Rue, the junior, having a tip off the fingertips of the defender for Morris Tech, and now the largest lead of the opening set for Fort Lee at 15-11. Once again, Coelho with the service. Dug out by Vicky Huang. And Smith pushes it just over and on top of the fingertips of Chan, which deny the opportunity for defensive stop there for Fort Lee. 15-12 lead now for Fort Lee, the number 2 seed in this North 2 Group 2 sectional playoff. No playing to state championships this season or the TOC. There are various sectional tournaments throughout the state. A chance for some hardware, as Smith's service goes into the net. 16-12 advantage now for Fort Lee, as Schulman will come back onto the court to serve here for Fort Lee. Both teams have been trading the lead back and forth in this opening set. Fort Lee grabbing the advantage as of late. Rue getting it over for Fort Lee. Lasser dug out by Schulman. There's Pagan just hitting it into the net. Might have been distracted by that net front presence of Alex Glasser, the junior middle blocker, with 2 kills and a block against Garfield in the first round. 16-13. Now it's going to be Carly Young, the junior, number 14, serving for Morris Tech. Going out of bounds. No, they're going to say just inside the far side for the ace. Big ace on the service there for number 14, Carly Young, who had 10 assists and a kill against Garfield. Pulls Morris Tech back to within 2 at 16-14 here in the opening set. Coelho, Wang, Rue, dug out by Wang over on Morris Tech. Pagan, Wang saving it. That might have been going long. Pagan, Ishi Wang, Carly Rue. Good volley here between the two sides. Valuable points, and Pagan trying to loft it backwards up and over the net. And Coach Ziemba not happy after Fort Lee has given up 2 straight points here. And what was a 4-point lead has now shrunk to 1, 16-15. Wang, quick movement there and gets the point. A much-needed point for the Bridgemen. Sensing that they needed to stop the bleeding. Outstanding quick decision by Yishi Wang, who is now going to be serving for Fort Lee. 17-15 the lead for Fort Lee. Low serve nearly led to the ace, but Morris Tech just got it over as Fort Lee was celebrating, and they will celebrate here. On the hard finish and the kill by Casey Rue, the junior outside hitter. 18-15 now, the lead back to 3 for Fort Lee, trying to capture the opening set of this state sectional quarterfinal. Wang again. This time dug out by Heather Murphy for Morris Tech. Pagan trying to make amends. Glasser. And that tipped off the fingertips of Lily Shulman. That might have been a case of it was going to be going long. Grant can't blame Shulman for the defensive effort there to get in front of it. It will be an 18-16 lead now for Fort Lee, with the service going back to number 10 seed Morris Tech. Dug out by Kim. Wang popping it over. Morris Tech in position there. Wang setting it up. Rue blocked to the net, but blocked backwards. Off the fingertips of Alex Glasser for the point for Fort Lee, who have now taken back a 3-point advantage at 19-16 here in the opening set. As Coach Ziemba making a couple wholesale changes and subs. As it looks like it was going to be Tori Goris, number 13, coming in for the Bridgemen. And a timeout taken on the floor. It's Fort Lee 19 and Morris Tech 16 here in the opening set of this 2021 North 2 Group 2 sectional quarterfinal. As you're watching all the action here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube page here on YouTube. It's been a fun matchup here in the opening set of play between Fort Lee and Morris Tech. First ever meeting between these two sides. Fort Lee had a bye in the first round. In the first round, Rutherford, the 8th seed, outlasted number 9 seed Hanover Park 2-0. Parsippany bested West Essex. Parsippany, the number 6 seed, West Essex, the number 11 seed, 2-0. And then Morris Tech pulling off the only upset so far in this bracket. The number 10 seeded Devils upsetting the number 7 seeded Boilermakers 2-0. Luciana Casal serving now for Fort Lee, number 15. 19-16 advantage here as Fort Lee trying to capture the opening set of this playoff matchup. Nice play by Shulman. Wang getting it over. Diaz. Here comes Murphy with the reply. Wang, nice job. Athletic there, sliding nearly under the net before making that play. And into the net it goes. Another point for the Bridgemen. Great defense, eventually leading to the mistake in front by Morris Tech. And a 4-point lead now for Fort Lee, 20-16. Casal again with service and gets the ace. Luciana Casal had 11 assists and 5 kills in their big win back on April 3rd against Dumont that gave them a piece of the league title. 21-16, largest lead of the opening set now for Fort Lee. Diaz. Just get it over. Diaz again sneaks it home. Timely play there by Amy Diaz, seeing where it was going to fall, and with one of her teammates on the floor already, Diaz managed to make the move, tip it over just in time. 22-16. Fort Lee going on a run late here in the first set. Wang making the play, and then a drop shot. Nice finish there by Carly Young in front for Morris Tech, as the Devils win back the service and get the point in the process, 22-17. That time a little too much on that one for Goris. Goris, the sophomore, was right in the front and again just let it loose for another point there for the Devils. As she'll sub out, Pagan will come back in for her. 22-18. The lead for Fort Lee. Morris Tech with some work to do here late in the set. Diaz getting it over. The Devils trying to respond here. Pagan. What a defensive play there by Vicky Huang. Full extension, saved it with her hand. Diaz, that time a little too long. And will Coach Ziemba call for a timeout here? He's thinking about it. 22-19, the lead for Fort Lee. It was just a 5-point spread moments ago. Kim mishitting that one as it goes out of bounds. It's now 22-20, and Coach Ziemba will use that timeout to settle down his side. As Morris Tech, the Devils have gone on a run here to pull back to within 2 at 22-20 here in the opening set of this quarterfinal matchup. And looking at the bracket in the other quarterfinals in North 2, Group 2. Top-seeded Madison playing host to Rutherford, the 8th seed. Hackettstown, the number 4 seed. Bergenfield, the number 4 seed, taking on number 5-seeded Hackettstown, a team that Morristown knows very well, a league rival, who Morris Tech has lost to twice so far this season in Hackettstown. And then in this side of the bracket for Fort Lee and Morris Tech, a match worth watching is number 3 Caldwell taking on number 6 Parsippany. The winner of today's match will play the winner of Caldwell and Parsippany in Saturday's semifinal. If Fort Lee were to win, they would host that semifinal on Saturday afternoon. If Morris Tech were to win, they would be traveling to either Caldwell or Parsippany and keeping this big-time underdog run alive here. So after the timeout, 22-20, Fort Lee leading. But Morris Tech on a bit of a run here, 3-0 run. Diaz getting it over for Fort Lee. Now digging it out. Wang setting up Diaz. Into the net, deflected, and back for a point for Christy Smith. And Morris Tech, a 4-0 spurt after Fort Lee has extended their lead to 5 points late in this first set. What a response here by the Morris Tech Devils. Wang getting it over. Sent right back by Carly Young. Defense has been exceptional of late here for Morris Tech to get right back in it. Diaz spreading it around. Good save there by Heather Murphy. Wang, Pagan. Dug out by Vicky Huang. Smith. Now Diaz. Longest volley of this opening set. Such a worthwhile point. Wang just getting it over. and dropped in just in front of the back line. And now we are tied at 22-all here in the opening set. Morris Tech with a 5-0 spurt and winning that long volley between the two sides. Vicky Huang, the libero, serving it, dropping it, and that time it's a little too long as it will fall in for a point for Fort Lee. But a much-needed stop to this run by the Devils. 23-22, the lead for the Bridgemen. As Neutralwani will come back in and will be serving for Fort Lee as Pagan will come out. Wang, Young, Smith for Morris Tech. Diaz for Fort Lee, and it's going to be the points as it was a double hit against Fort Lee, and now service goes back to the Devils. With this opening set tied at 23-all, Morris Tech getting loud in support of their comeback here in the opening set. They were down by as many as 5 late. Trying to drop that in was Chan. Smith trying to elevate there. Diaz had it deflected, just saved and sent over by Murphy. Neutralwani to Wang. Smith in front, blocking that away by Chan. You can sense how much this means to both sides here in the playoffs in this opening set. What a dig! Dug out by Abby Adams. We continue on. Chan, again Adams with a defensive play. Chan again looking. That time will not be denied. Third time's the charm. Kylie Chan, the senior, with 30 kills on the season, kept on going at number 4, Abby Adams, who was brilliant twice, just could not pull it off a third time. 24-23, Fort Lee with the service, with a set on the line here with a point. Smith deflected at the net. Wang to Chan, just trickles it over. Fort Lee with a point here can win the opening set. Diaz over and gets it on a big point there for Amy Diaz. And Fort Lee will come back and hold on to take the opening set by a score of 25-23. What an exciting opening set to begin today's state playoff matchup. As again, Fort Lee was leading by 5, came back, and then eventually finished it off in style with Amy Diaz getting the winner from the far side to the near side. And that will give the Bridgemen the opening set, as that was emotional, going back and forth. Fort Lee was seemingly all in control, leading by as many as 5 points. Then Morris Tech won a run of their own to tie it up on 2 different occasions. It was 23-all, and then after a long, sustained volley between the two sides, Kylie Chan secured the big point that made it 24-25, and then Amy Diaz eventually put it home for the winner to open up the first set 25-23. What a way to begin this playoff action. Hopefully you're enjoying it as much as we are here from East Gymnasium. As Fort Lee playing host to Morris Tech, a spot in Saturday's semifinal on the line for the victor. Fort Lee is victorious. They will host as the number 2 seed, the winner of Caldwell, the number 3 seed, and Parsippany, the number 6 seed. If Morris Tech comes back to win this playoff showdown, they will travel to either Caldwell or Parsippany as the number 10 seed and continue their march to a sectional title here in 2021. So after losing their last 3 consecutive matches 2-0, Fort Lee captures their first game, their first set since their last win, which came back on April 3rd against Dumont, 2-1 in a 3-set winning match there. That assured Fort Lee the championship in the league title. But since that point, they've really put together a tough schedule to get them prepared for this postseason. They took on the likes of Riverdale. They added a match against Hasbrook Heights, who was undefeated and is the number 2 seed in their own bracket. And also had a tough loss on the road against arch rival Cliffside Park. Just to get them prepared for this opportunity here in the postseason. So Fort Lee leading 1-0 here now at home here at the East Gymnasium. Dan Long, so glad that you could join us supporting these great student athletes from both Fort Lee and Morris Tech as you're enjoying action from the North 2 Group 2 State Sectional Playoffs. We're in the quarterfinals here with a spot in the semis on the line for the victor. Fort Lee just won the opening set 25-23. Ayla Kim getting the second set underway. Fort Lee in the all-black, in the red and black, the Devils of Morris Tech. And that fell just out of bounds. And there will be another opening point here for Morris Tech. The 1-0 lead for the Devils, who won against Garfield in the opening round in 2 sets on the road. Now we'll see how they respond here, knowing they have to win 2 consecutive sets to bunch their ticket to the semis. Diaz, who had the winning point to end set number 1, getting it over. Adams doing just the same for Morris Tech. Blocked to the net by Murphy. Now sent back. Murtaugh, now Diaz. Diaz, an exceptional basketball player for the Fort Lee girls side. And that time it goes out of bounds to the far corner. 1-1 the score here to begin the second set. Fort Lee no strangers to winning in the postseason. Last season as the number 13 seed in the Group 2 State Tournament. They defeated Garfield 2-0 in the first round, but then lost to number 4 seed Sparta in straight sets in the second round of the 2019 playoffs. They are looking to advance to the semis with a win here today. This is a Fort Lee volleyball program that has won a state championship in program history. That came back in 1988. We're also runners-up for the state crown in 84. Already with 1 championship under their belt this year. And again, you can see the velocity off that shot by Christy Smith. Just ate up the defender for Fort Lee. And they could not produce the return. 2-1 lead now for Morris Tech here in the second set. Christy Smith serving here for the Devils. Kim digging it out. Wang digging it out on the other side for Morris Tech, who held an early lead in that opening set. And that's deflected in front and sent back, in Morris Tech with once again an early lead here to begin the second set, 3-1. Smith will return as the server here. Into the net, and that was kind of the Achilles heel for Morris Tech. In that opening set, they had a couple of serves that just did not even get over, or when they did, might have gone a little long, that gifted points to Fort Lee and did not force the Bridgemen to have to return things on their own. 3-2 lead now for Morris Tech here in the start of the second set. Shulman serving for the Bridgemen. Nice, tricky play there by Carly Young in the front of the net, just dropping it cross quarter over the nets and catching the front line by surprise. For Fort Lee, 4-2 lead now for Morris Tech. Began to the back line, taken out by Heather Murphy, the junior. Here's Lily Shulman. Ishii Wang. Quick move and a quick finish there by Casey Rue. Rue has really picked up her game here in this postseason matchup. off the assist from who else but Yishi Wang. 92 assists on the season coming into today's contest. Over 370 career assists for Yishi Wang, who's serving right now for Fort Lee, number 14. The engine of this offense for Coach Ziemba's side. Wang. Rue. That time a little too long for Rue. Trying to sneak that in inside the back line. But it goes out of bounds. 5-3 lead for Morris Tech. Who make a sub as Madison Mauden, number 20, comes in. As Alex Levitt, number 10, takes a seat. Carly Young serving. And once again, into the net it goes for the point for Fort Lee. 5-4 lead now for Morris Tech. As Rue will check out, and Luciana Casal will come in. Will also be serving it for Coach John Ziemba's Fort Lee Bridgman. Looking for their 10th win of the season. Shulman. Wang. Pagan. Too long. Pagan's been just trying to settle things down and find that touch that she normally has, as it's been going a little too long for her in a couple of opportunities. Again, Glasser and Smith with their height in fronts will play a part in that. Wang to Pagan. Young setting up Smith. Good deflection in front as Pagan got a piece of it, but not enough that she could have popped it straight up in the air. It's another point for Morris Tech, and the Devils now take their largest lead of the second set at 7-4. Fort Lee captured the first set, an exciting finish, 25-23. They win this second set. They will advance to the semifinals. Pagan getting it over. Smith dropping it off. Full extension by Ayla Kim, but just couldn't keep it in bounds. When the lead grows to 4. 8-4 now the lead for Morris Tech. As Abby Adams once again serving, number 4 in red. And that was a bit of a knuckleball, but still kept alive based on the diving exploits of Yishi Wang. Here's Wang setting up Pagan. Fort Lee in search of a point to stop the bleeding here. Smith dug out by Shulman. Pagan getting it over. Blocked right back. And another point for Morris Tech. And it might be time for a timeout for Fort Lee. And just as I say that, Coach John Ziemba on the floor to once again talk some strategy over with his girls. As the lead is now 9-4 here in the second set for the visiting Devils of Morris Tech. Their largest lead of the day in either set. Fort Lee led by as many as 5 late in the opening set, only to see Morris Tech come racing back and to tie the game, tie the opening setup, I should say, at 23 all before eventually Kylie Chan and also then Amy Diaz bailed Fort Lee out, secured the final 2 points of the opening set, which the Bridgmen won 25-23. But it's been all Morris Tech here of late in the second set, taking a 9-4 advantage on the road and trying to force this to a third and deciding set if they were to win here in the second set of this best-of-3 matchup in girls high school volleyball in the state of New Jersey. After the Fort Lee timeout, here's Adams again serving. Diaz. She's been on her game here today. Kim. Wang getting it over, and nice there. We've seen that a couple of times by the leader of Fort Lee, number 14. Yishi Wang, the senior, quickly just deciding to make a move and seeing where the defense was placed on the floor by Morris Tech and finding that opening, getting the point, and now the service for Nutrawani. 9-5 lead for Morris Tech here in the second set. Wang setting up Chan, who's blocked at the net. Wang getting it over, and now it's a couple of blocks between the couple of middle blockers in front. Smith getting that just inside for a point. Chan had a couple of opportunities. She was denied in front by Glasser. And eventually it ends in the point. 10-5 lead now for Morris Tech. Vicky Huang, the senior, serving. Diaz just gets it over. Fort Lee saving it. Kim getting it over. Setting it up, Smith. Such a hard hitter. Good job of digging out of the back line by Fort Lee. Smith drop shot. One-handed stop by Huang. Another long volley between these two sides. Deflected around. Up by Christy Smith. But the point goes to Fort Lee. 10-6 lead now for Morris Tech. Nothing coming easy for the Bridgemen. They have had to earn every point so far here in the second set. There's Smith again, deflected on her attempt for the kill. She hits it backwards. Adams trying to get it to her teammate to get it over. They just do. Chan gets it over. Dug out by Adams. Cross court is a winner for Morris Tech. Fort Lee was laying off that one, but the location and the eyes were there. As Christy Smith has really started to come alive here in the second set for the Devils. And that cross-court winner, 11-6 lead for the Devils again, as the spread has been 5 for the last couple of minutes. Madison Maughton, number 20, serving. Kylie Chan getting that point. As Adams tried to dive in hot pursuit, but could not find it. As Coelho will come in for Fort Lee. And a sub made on the other side as Levitt will come in for Morris Tech. Morris Tech leading by 4, 11-7. Fort Lee with the service now, and the Bridgemen need to have to go on a bit of a run here to pull back even. Still plenty of time in the second set. Fort Lee leading 1-0. Here playing in the second set. Fort Lee wins this one. They go to the semifinals. Another point for Morris Tech. So again, every time that Fort Lee can break the serve and get the point, Morris Tech has an answer of their own on defense. The Devils have not wilted here in the second set and have not given the Bridgemen any grounds for a run of their own. 12-7 lead. Smith serving. Nice diving play by Coelho. Kim gets it over. Dug out by Huang. Young. Too long as that goes out of bounds just in front of us in the broadcast area near midcourt. 12-8 lead now for Morris Tech. Lily Shulman serving now for Fort Lee. Another member of the standout Fort Lee girls basketball program, seen here on the broadcast on YouTube this winter. And there's a chance now for Fort Lee. Back-to-back points for the first time in a long time for the Bridgemen. The lead is now shrunk to 3, 12-9 now the lead for Morris Tech here in the second set. Young setting it up for Murphy. Murphy gets it over. Wang, what an athletic play! Catching Morris Tech by surprise momentarily. Yishi Wang stopped by Vicky Huang. Pagan, diving play there by Vicky Huang. Outstanding. Both teams doing everything defensively. Just getting it over after it hit into the center barrier. That's up in the rafters here. And Pagan gets it to float home. So now a 3-0 run by Fort Lee has pulled the Bridgemen back to within 2 at 12-10. Here's the run that Coach Ziemba was desperately looking for from his Bridgemen. Here in the second set, after Morris Tech had done a great job of limiting the damage. Devils get it over in time. Young dropping it right in the midst of 5 different Fort Lee players in black. 13-10 as Morris Tech once again recaptures a 3-point lead, as well as the service. Heather Murphy, the junior outside hitter, had 4 kills and 6 digs against Garfield in the opening round, serving. Pagan has made the adjustment since Coach Ziemba took her out of the first set and brought in Tori Goris, responding to her coach. 13-11 now. Morris Tech on top. Fort Lee serving with Yishi Wang. Gotten over by Bowman. Just gotten over there by number 16, Casey Rue. Pagan, again, trying to find that sweet spot in between the front and the back lines. Schulman, Huang, Rue gets the points. As a pair of Devil defenders met for that one, but both hit into the net. And now the lead is only one, 13-12, with Huang and Fort Lee serving. Glasser. Coelho making the play. Wang getting it right over. And that falls in for the point. And the Bridgemen, who had trailed by as many as 5 here in the second set, have come back to tie it up at 13 all. Again, Fort Lee, if they were to capture the second set, would win the overall match, already leading 1-0. Wang serving. Levitt got low. Schulman. Kim. Dug out by Levitt. Young just couldn't get it to lip over the top of the net. And Fort Lee has come back to take the lead at 14-13. And Coach Kathleen Turnbull will take a timeout now for Morris Tech, as Fort Lee has gone on a run of late. Again, Fort Lee had been trailing on a couple of occasions by 5 points, and now have gone on a sustained run to capture the lead at 14-13 here in the second set of this evenly matched showdown in the North 2 Group 2 State Sectional Quarterfinals. The winner of this match will play the winner of Caldwell and Parsippany in Saturday's semifinal matchup. And the sectional final will be contended next week as well. They will only be playing to sectional championships this season in New Jersey girls volleyball. They are not playing group titles, and they are also not playing then to the Tournament of Champions. So this is the playoff format for this year, and it gives more teams an opportunity to win titles, actually, with a sectional format rather than a statewide format. So here in North 2, Group 2, Fort Lee, the number 2 seed, Morris Tech, the number 10 seed. Morris Tech has won once already here in the postseason, upsetting number 7 Garfield in the opening round. Kim, Wang, Pagan, dropping it back, saved by Christy Smith. Glasser, blocked at the net, just gets it back over. Pagan. Fort Lee trying to extend their 1-point lead. Pagan blocking at the net. What a change here by Sophia Pagan, the sophomore who also was another standout on the girls basketball team. She has come alive in the second set after just hitting a lot of opportunities in the opening set. She has been locked in completely here for the Bridgemen, who now lead by 2, 15-13. Huang still serving, and another point for the Bridgemen, as momentum certainly has changed its address here in the second set. It was all Morris Tech early on. It is now all Fort Lee, 16-13, as Yishi Wang and company have taken control, leading by 3. But what we've seen from these two sides so far, even back to the first set, things can change quickly. Morris Tech looking for an answer after surrendering a lot of points, and they get that point there, as Casey Rue just couldn't get it over in time. 16-14 now the lead for Fort Lee, with service going back to Carly Young and Morris Tech. Kim getting that dead end off of her shoulders, it looked like. Not a clean dig attempt. That's going to be a service ace for Carly Young. Morris Tech back to within one. It's 16-15 here in the second set. Pagan getting it over for Fort Lee. Lasser, Pagan getting the stop. Smith, Coelho. Here's Pagan. Dug out there by Mauden. Rue couldn't finish it home. We've seen so many great volleys in this match today between these two sides. Again, you could sense that it's the postseason, and it means more. And there's again the location on the cross-court winner by Huang. She has been deadly a couple times this afternoon of taking her position to the near side and then finding just that touch to the far left side of the court to find an opening. 17-15, Fort Lee serving. Lasser, too long. 18-15 as we're approaching the stretch here, the stretch run of the second set. Again, if Fort Lee is successful and wins this second set, they win the match and punch their ticket to the sectional semifinals, which they would host on Saturday here at East Gym. Kim popping it up, Pagan dropping it over, and it deflects off of Morris Tech to the far side. 19-15 now for the Bridgemen. Young, Lasser. Here's Young again, setting up Adams. Adams out of bounds to the near left side, just mishit. And now it's the largest lead of the second set for Fort Lee at 20-15. The Bridgemen 5 points away from advancing to the semis. Casal with the service again. Here she is, setting it up. Eventually Pagan dropping it off. Great defensive play there by Adams. Pagan. Couple players colliding in the back line, and that leads to the point for Fort Lee. 21-15, now the lead for the Bridgemen. And another timeout taken by Morris Tech as the Devils, sensing that things are getting a little out of control. Much like the opening set, it was almost the identical spread at this point in the match when Fort Lee led by 5 late in the opening set and eventually became tied up at 23 all. Fort Lee has to be on their guard to make sure that they do not fall victim to that again. They lead by 6 here late in the second, and they have to make sure to keep their foot on the gas as they are only 4 points away from capturing this match. We hope that you're enjoying things here on YouTube and the Fort Lee Athletic Department's broadcast page. Dan Long, happy that you could join us for exciting postseason action here in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Fort Lee 3-3 here at home this season. They've gone 15-6 overall in the last 2 seasons defending their home court. Trying to snap a 3-match losing streak on the season and garner their 10th win overall in 2021. 21-15, Fort Lee serving. Once again with Luciana Casal doing the honors. Casal gets it right on the back line for the ace. 22-15. Pinpoint accuracy there for Casal, the junior. The lead grows to 7 now, 22-15. That one eats up Huang, but it's going to be returnable here for Morris Tech. The Devils have been so good here today, and Fort Lee picking up their game after an exciting opening set and after falling behind early here in the second set. Young popping it over, and that time it handcuffs Schulman. And a much-needed point there for Morris Tech. Pulls back to within 6, 22-16 the deficit for the visitors from Morris County. Looking for their 4th win of the season. They are 3-5. But again, a program that went 3-22 in 2018. Now playing for the state semifinals, and that goes for a point for Fort Lee, 23-16. The Bridgemen 2 points away from advancing to the semifinals. A couple of subs made by Coach Ziemba, as Kylie Chan, number 10, will come back in, as well as Nicole Nutrowani, number 22. Nutrowani serving here for the Bridgemen. Smith saves it, and it looks like it was going out of bounds. They don't want to take the chance of it falling in for an ace. Chan's shot deflected. What a save by the hand by Huang. Kim answers with a diving save of her own. Smith dropping it off, and that nice little soft touch does the job for Morris Tech. And they get the much-needed point, 23-17 now the lead here in set number 2 for Fort Lee. Already up 1-0. Diving play, and what a play and a winner there in the cross court by Yishi Wang. Oh my! Match point here for Fort Lee. Wang on the far side made a diving play with one hand and popped it straight up diagonally to the near side for the winner. Match point now for Fort Lee. Kim serving, and there it is! Fort Lee is victorious by a final score of 25-17 here in the second set. And Coach Ziemba going over to congratulate the coaching staff and Morris Tech on a well-played matchup. This was so evenly played between the two sides, and eventually it finished off as a 25-17 victory in the second set for Fort Lee. They won in a dramatic first set, 25-23. Fell behind early here in the second set, but then got in a groove momentum-wise and found their way home for a 25-17 win in the second set, on their way to punching their ticket to the sectional semifinals, as Fort Lee will play host to either number 3 seed Caldwell or number 6 Parsippany, as they will await the results after today's action in the quarterfinals around North 2, Group 2. But again, hats off, as we saw there, Coach Ziemba going over to really congratulate the play of Morris Tech after that hard-fought matchup between the two sides, as Morris Tech will finish off their season 3-6 overall after pulling off the upset in the first round against Garfield, and Fort Lee will get their 10th win of the season, improve to 10-6 overall, and will now host either Caldwell or Parsippany in the sectional semifinals on Saturday. So again, the final score here from Fort Lee's East Gymnasium, Fort Lee 2 and Morris Tech nothing. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting these great student athletes from both these schools, as we will head to Saturday, where you can watch all the action here once again on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube page. So for everybody here from East Gym, I'm Dan Long saying so long.